Hi, and welcome to the second hour of this Friday edition of Focal Point on AAFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. The program is Focal Point. The network is AAFR Talk. Great to have you on board in the conversation today. This is Free for All Friday, Casual Friday, for those of you that are watching on our video streaming option at afr.net. We've also got audio streaming there in case you're in a community that does not have a radio station. Let your friends and family know they can catch us on the internet at afr.net. We have podcasts on our website. Also, we have apps for the Android and the iPhone. Another way they can catch us on the go. For the iPad, we have apps so people can catch us on the go. Encourage people to take advantage of that any way that they can. My Twitter handle, Brian J. Fisher. And we also have our website or our Facebook page. Focal Point is the name of our Facebook page. Love to have you leave your comments there on the Facebook page. Also, we have a email address that we monitor during the program, focalpoint@afr.net, focalpoint@afr.net. I got an email from one of our listeners about the immigration issue. I just want to read this email because I was fascinated by it. By the way, I got another one. I don't know if I've got that email in front of me. It was on the Second Amendment. He was talking about the fact that these AR-15s are referred to as assault weapons. And he did a tour of duty. I don't remember the exact details, but he did a tour of duty deployed overseas where he used his AR-15. And he says, I never used it once for a military assault. I always used it, whether it was on patrol or whatever. I used it to defend myself and my comrades when we came under attack. It was not an assault weapon. It was a self-defense weapon, even on the field of battle. Now, here is a note from Adriana is her name, and she says, I am an immigrant from Mexico. I have never been illegal. I left Mexico in 1986 with a visa and passport. I applied for my tourist visa a few times before it was granted to travel to the United States. I had to bring proof of income. Listen to this. I had to bring proof of income, school documents, and a permanent address. I also had to offer a reason and the amount of money I was planning on bringing and an address where I would be residing. Then she says, I married an American citizen, and when I applied for my green card and legal residency, I again had to prove that I didn't marry for any other interest but for love and family purposes. As a legal resident, listen to this, as a legal resident, I took an oath to never use the welfare system, and that my husband and I were fully responsible for the maintenance of myself. I have worked in this country for 20 years, and I have never used welfare. So again, this is how we used to do immigration in the good old days. Well, I want to play a couple of sound bites from the hearing yesterday on the attack in Benghazi. These would be clips 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're not going to probably get that far, but here's Leon Panetta. He's the Secretary of Defense. And again, there were huge issues about what happened the night of the Benghazi attack. It's 9/11. It's the anniversary of the 9/11 attack. We had this diplomatic outpost, this compound assaulted. It was a terrorist attack, a jihadist-style attack. Came in 3 waves. It was coordinated using military weapons, RPGs, the whole 9 yards. And so Leon Panetta is being asked about this at this congressional hearing yesterday, and he's asked about how involved Barack Obama was in all of this process. Remember, Barack Obama is the commander-in-chief. He's the one who is responsible for the safety and security of American citizens who are representing our interest overseas. And Panetta's asked, how involved was he in providing some direction for dealing with this crisis in Benghazi? Let's listen.
Did you have any further communications with him that night?
No.
Did you have any other further communications? Did he ever call you that night to say, how are things going? What's going on? Where's the consulate?
No, but we were aware that as we were getting information on what was taking place there, particularly when we got information that the ambassador, his life had been lost, we were aware that that information went to the White House.
Did you communicate with anyone else at the White House that night?
No.
No one else called you to say, how are things going?
No.
Okay. And since then, has the president asked you, why weren't we able to get, in light of the second attack that occurred 7 hours later, armed assets there in order to help those who were left and attacked in the annex?
The President has made very clear to both myself and General Dempsey that with regards to future threats, we have got to be able to deploy forces in a position where we can more rapidly respond.
But just to be clear, that night he didn't ask you what assets we had available and how quickly they could respond and what we could do to help those individuals there.
I think the biggest problem that night, Senator, was that nobody knew really what was going on there.
And there was no follow-up during the night, at least from the White House directly?
No, there wasn't.
You believe that? I mean, ladies and gentlemen, to me, this is an impeachable dereliction of duty on the part of the president. No communication, no interaction, no follow-up, no presence, no curiosity, no insistence that something better be done. Nothing. Completely AWOL, absent without leave from his post as the commander-in-chief. Now, that was Senator Kelly Ott, by the way, from New Hampshire. Here is Panetta and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dempsey, being asked about Hillary Clinton. So you think, well, Obama was AWOL, the president's gone. Okay, well, maybe that's because he delegated everything to Hillary Clinton. He said, Hillary, look, I'm tied up. In fact, he did make a phone call to Benjamin Netanyahu that night. He had time to do that because Benjamin Netanyahu had done or said something that made Obama look bad, and he was teed off. So he called Netanyahu to kind of ream him out for making him, Obama, look bad. But he didn't have time to even make a follow-up phone call to Leon Panetta to find out what was going on with our ambassador to a foreign country. So you can think, well, surely he just delegated this to Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State, she was on it like white on rice. I could go to bed. I could talk to Bibi. I could watch Conan on late night because I knew that it was in the hands, capable hands of Hillary Clinton. So Leon Panetta and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dempsey, are asked about Hillary's role on the night of the attack. Let's listen.
In between 9:42 p.m. Benghazi time, when the first attack started, and 5:15 a.m., when Mr. Dougherty and Mr. Woods lost their lives, what conversations did either of you have with Secretary Clinton?
We did not have any conversations with Secretary Clinton.
No. So, and General Dempsey, the same is true for you.
Yep. No conversations. William and Dempsey just kind of nodded. Nope, no conversations with Hillary. None, zip, nada, squat. So both President Obama, the President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief, completely AWOL, absent without leave. Hillary Clinton, head of the State Department, this Ambassador Stevens, she couldn't talk enough about what a wonderful guy he was. It was always Chris this and Chris that. I love Chris. Chris, a wonderful guy. What a patriot. What an American. Showed zero, nada, zip interest in his well-being the entire night of that attack. And yet, today, her approval rating, she is the most popular political figure in America. 61% of Americans view her favorably. The mind reels. Focal Point AFR Talk.